Down and safe, stand by. Hi everyone, guess what? I've got to get back to some props that I put on the side for far too long. Yes, the Blake 7 stuff. Federation Trooper blasters from the BBC TV series Blake 7. If you don't know, if you maybe one of the new subscribers that don't know what Blake 7 is, as one of the lead actors, the late Paul Darrow, said, well, they've remade it already. It's called Firefly. And I don't know if I agree with that, but it's close. It's that kind of thing. It's a ragtag bunch of bickering personalities trying to stay alive against the tyranny of the Federation. Anyway, that aside, I quite like the Federation Trooper blaster rifles, which were, as you can see, made from plastic parts, pipes, all sorts of things like that. No Star Wars jobs of buying, machine guns and modifying them. This is more a case of what can we make out of scrap. But they've got a weird and interesting look to them, and they're finished in the ever-present Roman bronze, spray paint. Everything seems to be in this brown color. That was the color of the future, apparently. And I've started making them. Now, I started making them a good few months ago, and I plan to do the full Federation Trooper costume. I don't know if I'm still going ahead with that now, mainly because I'm kind of gone off this costuming thing, the cosplay thing. Aside from Jack Sparrow, I don't really have much impetus to do a costume anymore. Anyway, I still like the props, and I started making 4 rather than just make 1. I thought, screw it, I'll go and make 4. So let's get all the pieces out. What it is, I put them on hold to do other stuff, and then I realized in 3 weeks' time from now, there's a big sci-fi event in Newcastle in the north of England, which is a Blake 7 event, which I went and bought a VIP ticket for, to see 3 of the cast making appearances there. But I didn't take into account that it's very, very, very difficult and or expensive to get to Newcastle in time for this event. So that may be £75 wasted on a ticket, unless anyone out there is able to get to Newcastle for the event. I'll put the date in the description and stuff, and wants a ticket from me, a VIP ticket, for a bit of a discount, say 25 quid off, 50 quid for the thing. So they've pretty much sold out of VIP tickets now anyway, and if I can't make it, then I'd rather someone go and get to see the show for a couple of quid cheaper, and it doesn't go to waste. Anyway, I'm still going to make the 4 blasters, so let's go get the pieces and let's see what I've got. First thing I found was an even earlier failed attempt to build some Liberator, I guess they call them wands. Basically it's a stick with a handle on it and a ribbed section in the middle that goes over there like that, and this gets cut off. And I will get back to that one day. I did try to, this is the cheap option using a plastic bottle, by the way. It already came with the black rubber bands around it, which is quite nice. But I did, at great cost, order some Perspex rings from the States, and they were quite expensive. But I still don't know how I can attach everything together. It's a little fiddly, but never mind that weapon. Here's what I've got so far for the Liberator weapons. Not the Liberator, sorry, the Federation Trooper weapons. First thing, 4 barrels, sort of kind of begun. There's a smaller section in the middle, as you can see here, and the slanted bit there. There's also a notch got to be cut out the top, and I got to cut a big slot out there for the handles. So there's 1, 2, aren't numbers good, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 4 of them, roughly the right length and stuff. This is ABS pipe, by the way. I decided to buy ABS pipe because it's easier for cutting, sanding, painting, holds paint better. I mean, you can use this stuff, which is your standard sort of drain sink pipe, etc., but it's made of a nylon, and paint will not stick to that very much. I don't like it too well. At a push you could probably use it, but I'd rather not. So I went with ABS pipe, which is a lot more doable. Thankfully, I didn't know, I forgot I'd got these. I've got the two paints. This is a Tibetan gold, the slightly brighter colour, because there are two-tone colours in this thing, and the Roman bronze, which hasn't been opened yet, which is good. I mean, they're about £6 a tin from Amazon. It's a shame they're not bigger, but there you go. I may need to buy some more. Right. Lots of square plastic tubes. I've had to buy more than I need because they come in sort of packs of 10, I think it is. But they need to be cut down and chamfered, like so. So it's basically 6 per gun. I've cut the ends off at 45 degrees, and they kind of go like basically the flat end goes here, the chamfered end goes here. Sorry, it's quite dark, and they go around there like that. I've also another great cost, because I kept getting the wrong size. I bought a bunch of selfie sticks. How many have I got there? 3, 4, 5. Oh well, got a spare. Basically, the guns, as you'll see in the reference photos, have a stock connected to the side. It's not particularly long, but I still want to try and keep it adjustable. So that will mean drilling through here to fit it onto the side of the pipe like that, and making some stock pieces at the back. I've left these pieces on for now, the plastic bits, in case I can incorporate them, because they're quite tightly fitted to the tubes, which is quite nice. A little bit more laser cut black plastic rings. That one's just got the protective paper on it. A friend of mine laser cut these for me, and he gave me all bar one. For some reason, one of them got lost in his car. I think it's 2 per gun, so 2, 4, 6, 8. I stand corrected. I did get the 8th one. Maybe he turned up with it. Right. The only thing left now is handles, which I've started. So they're made of smaller pieces, which are sprayed in the slightly lighter Tibetan gold. So I've labelled them 3 in, 3 out, etc. So one that way, one that way. So 2. How many of these have I painted? 2 sets, 3 sets. I've painted all 4. Great, good stuff. The elastic bands I've put on here perished away. Anyway, the good thing about Blake 7 props is they're all a little bit scuffed. So I've done all the painting for the outside pieces, which is good. And they go onto the main part of the gun, which is again a sandwich, all laser cut, MDF in the middle, sort of plasticky board on the outside, fake trigger, which doesn't work. And then these, one goes on like that. Obviously these are sprayed in the Roman gold. Then these go on like that. Another one on that side. So they're really uncomfortable as handles go, but that's what they look like. Okay. So how many of these handles have I assembled? Well, there's one. Might need to do a bit of sanding around the edges. 2. Still needs a bit of sanding and filling, but 3. 3 and a bit. Right, this has none of the blue parts. Oh, in fact, it doesn't even have a... oh, maybe it's a spare. I think this is a reject. It has a lot of scratching on here. I've been cutting things on it, and it has a bit taken out of the bottom there. So I've got a feeling this is a reject. Yeah, it's the shape of one of these. Well, it's not quite right. It should have the trigger. Right, so I'm going to need another full set, but I've got enough to do 3 at the moment, so that's good. Obviously I'm not going to cover doing all 4, but I'll certainly cover doing one, and then we'll, at some point in the future, we'll cut to assembled ones and see what they look like. Right, that's all I've got so far. I've ordered stuff too. Okay, speeding up a lot of waffle into a few seconds. I've got to cut the slots into the tube, so I made a paper sleeve, which was tricky to get on, but I've marked out the position of the slot. Once you can finally squeeze the thing in, it's quite old, so it's all lined up now. You've got to make sure that the slot is actually at the bottom of the tube before marking it out. Then, just to make life easier for myself, I put some masking tape on the edge over the hole so I can use my scalpel to cut through it. Scalpel's less likely to slip if you're cutting through masking tape, and I've marked it all off. Pull the sleeve off, pull the tape off, and you can see the scoring. So I'm going to use the scoring to guide my scalpel, do a number of up and down cuts on it, and use the box cutter or Stanley knife if you're British to fit that in. Pops it in there like that. Like I say, I'm going to probably put some epoxy glue on that to keep that dead solid, but because this is ABS pipe, as I mentioned, and not your standard waxy nylon sink pipe, this is a lot stronger, and I think it will take, it'll obviously take a lot more cutting, but it'll take screws and everything else that I need to go on there. Cut the slots in all of them, so all of them have got slots in now, and I have been checking that they do actually fit the handles. Pop that on there. Have I been checking? I probably, oh there we go, yeah. Right, I noticed a tiny little gap there, which isn't great, but all I have to do is cut down a little bit on each end just so it slots in, slides in a bit tighter, and we're good for 3 guns. Okay, so this morning I took my drill with a steel bit and tried to drill a hole through this to fit it on there. One in there, one in there. It ain't drilling through. I can't hammer anything into it because it will flatten the tube. I need to find a way of drilling through this nicely, or finding some other method of attaching that to that, strong enough so that I can pull this out and back, etc. As yet, I don't know how to do that without, you know, damaging it or having a very obvious, I don't know, clamp or something on there. So there's not much else I can do because I can't glue the detail pieces on here until I've got this fixed on. So this week's video is at an end. Dang it. Frustrated. The bit that I was dreading is the bit that I still don't know how to do. I don't really know anyone who's got a pillar drill to actually do a decent job of drilling through these things. My Dremel's certainly not going to cut it, no pun intended. But this has been a long enough video as it is. I've still got, I think, 2 weeks to try and get one of these or 2 of these. Well, if I can get the one finished, let's face it, I'll be able to do all of them. So I'm going to give it some thought for the day, get on with my day job, and it's Sunday, and drink lots of coffee. So, but we won't give up. We'll get there in the end. That attaching the pole thing is the thing that is road blocking everything else. Once that bit's done, everything else will kind of fall into place, I think. So hopefully by next week I'll have ordered a couple more bits that I need for the thing, like the side buttons and things like that. And we shall continue. We won't be beaten. Anyway, until next time, see you soon.